Well,
Hello and
good.
welcome.
Yes, good evening. I saw you just had a drive-by Lilying.
I did. Yes, Lily
Yes.
was just in to say hi.
I've got no drive-bys tonight. I've closeted myself in the room. I don't think we'll have puppies or Stephanie tonight. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, she
it's
wanted to say hi, so I was like, "Yeah, absolutely."
oh, great. Hi, Lily. And your studio looks great.
Yeah, it's all
It's
it's all
great
done.
lighting, great sound. So I will warn all those at home. I am in Oliphant tonight, and it's a pretty good internet connection. But if I lose it, Grayden will carry on.
Mhm.
And if I lose him, I'll cry and then actually get back to doing Mayor's update. So
And we have a full list of events, including all the ones like we've mentioned before and the ones now. So that'll include, like, if we ever had to, like a single one of us just reading those out would do the whole
right.
show.
Well, but because we didn't have a council meeting last night,
Mhm.
that gives us the time to do events and to take as many St. Thomas kind of questions as we can. We're still in the middle of
Hmm.
construction season, and
Yep.
Alma Street is about as under construction as it can be.
Mhm.
St. George and Pearl Street is that piece is under construction. Of course, the Talbot Street piece from First Ave to Fairview, finishing all of that with some real. You see the size of the pipes that are going underneath the road there.
Yeah, massive.
You and I could stand in one of them. We're not going to, but
We're
we
not going
could.
to, but we could.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
and
And
that
then the official plan's coming together as well. So there's a meeting. The first
yes,
meeting is on
yes. The OP is
Thursday.
on. Yes, at Memorial. I think it's 6 to 8 or seven
Yep.
to nine. It's one
6
of
to
those
8.
two, 6 to 8. And this is just really the first one. And there's four public meetings about the official plan. This is an official plan taking St. Thomas all the way to 2051.
Mhm.
But official plans are, of course, after they're written, are reviewed after 10 years, then every 5 years.
Yep.
So it really puts a designation on each of the areas of the city as to what should be there: industry, commercial, residential, a mixture of both. It talks a lot about transportation patterns and what else is happening, what else can happen from a transit point of view and an active transportation point of view. And it covers recreational designated lands too, like our trails and our great parks. So go on out and get the first meeting. There's four of them. The
Yeah.
first meeting really tells you what official plans are all about, right? And starts to gather some information from you, the people, as to how is growth happening in St. Thomas? How are we doing the density piece? Look, I couldn't say enough things about the last two beehives.
Mhm.
I know Mike's just the star, but you get to do a lot of filming and stuff too.
I
Um,
love it.
but the one on Drulo and Carrie and what she shared with what's happening at Elman Wilson and the Drulo development there,
Mhm.
and then this one about the OP really is, kind of what St. Thomas is right now. Right, about just under 2,000 or around 2,000 rental units will be in that block that Drulo's building at Elman Wilson, um, and they're still waiting for just one or two more pieces of the environmental approvals to go ahead with what they're going to do on the land. They have to submit how they're dealing with the environmentals, and then you'll start to see even greater construction there.
Yeah.
But just incredible that the OP is happening about the same time. And I bet in the last OP that land had a big X through it.
Mhm.
Can't be used. It is crap, right?
Yep.
And what they're doing is turning a truly contaminated site into something even better. So we know now, as we start to look at the railway lands development, that all things are now possible because we found a couple other ways to help pay for cleaning up brownfields. So um, if it sounds like I'm a little excited, I am. 2026 is going to be an exciting year of planning.
Mhm.
27, 28, 29, all the way to 2051. So get your name on the voters list because you really do want to vote for the right people to do all of that.
Mhm.
There's some candidates come forward, and of course, we're pretty sure that most of council will be re-upping
Mhm.
and looking to carry on with the job, the strategic plan we've already been working on. But we
Yeah.
also had a public meeting this week over at the Hiawatha site.
Mhm.
Last Wednesday, we had a public meeting afterwards. We're building some quite affordable seniors housing, a seniors apartment building there on what is some kind of surplus uh, city land with again a great combination of the YWCA and Doug Terry, the people who
Hmm.
brought you Tiny Hope and the Tiny Home project on another piece of contaminated land. And we had a small number of the neighbors come out and have a great chat and look at the charts and everything. It was a pretty positive experience, as we start to ebb and flow towards affordable and more seniors designated housing from where we've been with supportive housing and curing homelessness. We're
Hmm.
really starting to really catch fire a little bit with the thoughts in the city that this is the right place to go. And I was interviewed after that Drilo beehive, and I said the same thing. Look, Grayden, how many years ago were you and I talking about supply and demand on rental housing? That we
Well,
honestly would see affordable parts if we could just get the supply number up high enough to
mhm.
have a bit of a vacancy rate, and that's truly where we're headed.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we've been talking about. I think it was about 7.5 years ago when we first really started Mayor's Update.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were talking about housing and transit right out of the gate as being number one priorities for St. Thomas and the city.
Well, it
And
continues to be that. And
yeah.
I read another piece from AMO today that the province passed a bunch of legislation, and one of them is a test on rideshare programs. And I know we don't
Hmm.
truly have one truly in St. Thomas, but they're putting the rules together for province-wide regulations on rideshare companies to
Yeah.
complement transit. As another way to move yourself around the city. And I know one of the other things we're looking at in the transit study we're doing is how much of it could become even van transit. I mean,
Hmm.
we've gone to smaller buses so that we can do more routes more often. But if you can do it with on call systems and using vans, preferably some very nice looking Volkswagen vans, might be a good idea.
Maybe
Um,
electric.
of course, why wouldn't we do that? So,
Yeah.
um, it's like every check, another box, check, another box, check. Are they done? No, of course they're not. That's why we do long-term strategic plans, even on things like recreational centers and pools and such. But
Mhm.
a lot of noise this week, even about what we said last week about how many people are using the St. Thomas incentives at the YMCA for swimming.
Mhm.
So look at we're doing our best to complement what isn't there while we're working on how to make it bigger and better.
Yeah, and one of the things, just to throw it back to the Drewlo chat that we had with Carrie O'Brien on the Beehive, one of the things that she said that was really attractive for Drewlo was the CIP program that
Yeah.
St. Thomas implemented, and how you help with development charges when people are remediating brownfields. And she
Yes.
said it's saved them millions of dollars on their end, which makes it actually practical for them to do that development that otherwise just would not happen in the community.
Well, it's been kind of a false thing about, oh, it's high DC charges that are causing us to not have housing.
Hmm.
St. Thomas has never been anywhere near anything but near the bottom of what
Yeah.
we charge for DCs. And then we implement things like the community improvement plan to help knock some of those things off your table if you're a developer, and put that money back into a site that needs money in a different way, whether it's brownfield remediation or affordable housing pieces. And I think we'll hear a lot more out of that Drelo site as to how many straight affordable units we also are achieving in our conversations with them.
Hmm. And Bree Betts is asking if there's any more word on who's running for mayor in St. Thomas.
I've heard nobody. I've been away, and I follow the news pretty closely, but I don't have a direct buzzer that I can buzz the clerk and say who put their name in this week.
Yeah.
But we're still very early in the game. Till we hit June, and I really suggest till we hit July. The election doesn't happen till October, and I think I've shared it on here on Mayor's Update before. This is the longest election in any of the three levels of government. You kind of got
Hmm.
to put your name in early, specifically if you are not well known. But most of the other elections are a 32 or a 35-day election. This one is like 6 months of put
Yeah.
your name in and then get ready for the polls. And so I haven't been driving through town much. Have you seen any signs up? I've seen them in other places. London has got a lot of political signs up already because I
Yeah.
think there's a lot of conversation about who needs to stay and who needs not to stay. And so there's a lot of things happening there. But no, I haven't specifically heard of anyone else who's put their name in.
Yeah,
Uh,
and the one person is Doug McTavish, who's put their name in so far.
so far, right.
Yeah,
And Doug and I had a great meeting a week or so ago, and I shared with him all the things that I thought the mayor does for a living, and
yeah,
that it must be a full time job, and that the coordination of friendship,
hmm
cooperation with council and the mayor is so important. We've gone too many terms in this city over the last 100 years where it was almost council against mayor, or some of council against council, or
hmm
all of them against each other. And the true answer is the working together and then finding a way to make that cooperation work with the other levels of government on the same projects we're trying to do at the same time.
as well as your neighbors, as you said before, as well. So the
Oh,
regional interoperability.
and I'll give Josh Morgan a bit of a shout out. He's really
hmm
done a great job of turning things into regionality,
Yeah,
and talking about Southwest as a region. We currently have a fairly high youth unemployment rate in the Southwest region, so we really talked about not so much what do you do to create youth jobs, what do you do to create jobs in general. The economic highway that Highbury can be has been really high on our list as the region talking to each other. Some of the other municipalities around us, Elmer is just going full bore on growth and
mhm.
doing a great job for housing. Central Elgin with the psych hospital lands, the provincial lands there, can really be adding to the scope of the economics of our region. And look, we sometimes forget about Grant Jones and Southwold and the council there that has been just quietly growing and quietly adding to the economy of our area collectively with us.
Yeah,
So
they're just getting the things done. As you
yeah.
know, they've got the water infrastructure is going in, so that'll help with industrial development over on that side as well, which is massive. Because if you don't have that, you can't have growth.
Well, and then if you don't have places for people to live, which you can't have if you don't have water or wastewater, you just cannot build the way we're building if we're not adding to the ability to find more water. Look, it's pretty easy to say we're in the middle of the Great Lakes, so water isn't an issue. Pipelines are an issue.
Yeah,
And so we have to continue to do environmental studies as to how best to improve the water supply, the wastewater cleaning ability, and the hydro piece, the electricity piece that drives all of this. It's just all part of it. One piece missing, and you stop for a while. And I've been seeing some other communities near us. I think Waterloo is having a real water issue, and we're going, okay, kind of got to stop for the moment,
yeah,
right? So I think is we got to think far enough ahead to be ready when it's needed, not to think, oh, it was needed yesterday. And now, how many years will it take for us to actually fix it? And that's truly what we've been doing well with our strategic plan.
yeah.
Right.
Because
So
you're looking at like,
you've got questions tonight, and I can't see them. So if
yeah,
anybody's asking any questions, feed them to the mayor if you would, please. And if you're watching from home, this is the type of mayor's update where there wasn't a council last night where we really can answer a lot more. And I guess I spouted right from the beginning some of the great big things that are happening, like affordable seniors
yeah.
and what Drulo's doing. But please
hmm
don't hesitate to ask us questions if you're seeing something or would like to know how your city can do better.
hmm Question in from Bree, um, and she's asking Joe, as outgoing mayor, what are your highest hopes for whomever takes the helm here? Anything top of mind from you? Now you've talked about cooperation.
Yeah, it's going to have. It takes a team, and it takes a team that isn't all exactly the same, but
hmm
know the questions to ask of each other without making an enemy, without causing grief,
hmm
without spending whole meetings talking about a singular issue, as we see in some of the other municipalities around us. It's about the friends, the 8 friends that are currently the council and the mayor, getting along, knowing ahead of time how this might go. Can we do this? It's a heavy piece. It's got lots of jagged edges to it. Can we all lift it at the same time? That's the biggest thing. Is the leadership from the mayor's chair, which is really the leadership from all of council at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a couple other things here too. We were just Well, I was just up at the Home Builders
Yep.
day at Queen's Park, and
Yes.
it was fantastic to see the work that they've done in terms of talking to the government to lower the costs across the board for the homeowners. One of the things, again, they're talking about is the HST.
For sure. One of the
Mhm.
things that they had control over, we've been asking for, and boy, have the home builders ever been asking for it over the
Yeah.
last number of years. But since you brought that up, I'm going to say we were
Mhm.
both at another event last week with Doug Terry and the
Yes.
20th anniversary of the net zero that company went on how to build
Mhm.
houses, but not just build the house, but build it in today's fashion with net zero energy use, with life ability, the house having life ability.
Yeah.
And then while we're there, I think I got to say a few words about how Doug some 20 years ago started this when he was the chair of the Ontario Home Builders or the
Yeah.
federal home builders. It was one or the other, causing the advocacy at Parliament and at Queen's Park to get one or two big messages across a year so that all of the builders were kind of pulling in the same direction. It's made a
Mhm.
20-year difference. And I think we'll really continue to see the dividends being paid on that.
And there were so many people down for that. Enercare was there. They're a
Yeah.
big proponent for this. So they were all there and they had rock star shirts because, of course, Doug
Yeah.
likes rock music. So
Yes.
it was a pretty special event. And people should be, I'll get those
Yeah.
photos up tomorrow and do
Yes.
a nice
Well,
little post about it all.
it's so
Yeah.
great. And often when you and I attend a workshop or a convention or something somewhere else,
Yep.
it's always a very special speaker, but almost always seems to be from somewhere else. You're not It's like
Yeah.
you don't have any information to share with your own community if you're from your community. And we've got
Hmm.
experts here,
Totally.
people like the builders like Doug and Hayho and all of the rest of the builders who work so well together. We got a council here that does that kind of thing and is really thought of. And boy, I think I have like 5 speaking engagements in the next 10 days or something
Yeah.
about where we are with homelessness and why we're doing it. And of course, that the Chamber of Commerce continues to work
Yep.
on business issues or social issues,
Hmm.
and businesses don't succeed in a community if there are social issues we're not dealing with. And other communities and other members of other chambers of commerce are coming to St. Thomas to see how we do it different,
Yeah,
right?
and it goes back into healthcare as well. Like we have
Yeah.
one of the most incredible healthcare teams here at Elgin St.
Yes.
Thomas General Hospital, and it
Yeah.
keeps our community on point. And I think that's another thing that we really need to celebrate and continue to work on. So I know they've got more fundraising that's going to be coming up to keep that going. But we have one of the top emergency rooms in Ontario, maybe even
Well, the
Canada.
top ranked medium-sized hospital for our country, I believe. It's that good.
It's
Um,
crazy. Yeah,
does it now need to be a medium-sized plus? Yeah, probably does because what
yeah,
we're doing with growth. But one of the other things is the physician recruitment team that is out there
yes.
working super hard. And so far this year, double digits on physicians recruited,
So
new
it's even
medical
gone
centers.
higher since our last meeting. Wow.
Yes. Well,
Congratulations. Well done.
well, and medical centers opening in our community with
Hmm.
with docs already in them.
Yep.
Um, Next week, June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, I think, are the dates where we're again doing what we call kind of discovery days. And medical students come to visit our community and don't
Yeah.
just come to hear us talk about, oh, look how beautiful the lake is, but they come to get to work in our hospital.
Hmm.
Um, in a residency kind of format, get to work with general practitioner doctors in their practices, and we think this really gives us a huge advantage to attract docs back to St. Thomas after they're done. Now, does it take a while during medical training to do this? Yes, but in the 8 years I've been mayor, we've done this every year. So we're starting to get people who are now graduating from medical school and trying
Yeah.
to choose where they might come open their practice. And a doctor today is far different than the docs of 10 years
Oh.
ago.
Oh
They
my goodness.
just are.
Yeah.
And so for us to be able to show them all things are possible in St. Thomas, if you like to be an old rural, and I don't mean this in any way, a rural doctor that has a really hands-on practice, then that's available to you. But if you want to work with the medical team of
Mhm.
all sorts of specialists, that's available to you.
Yeah.
and great quality equipment and quality people to work in your practices are available to you here in St. Thomas. I'll give a shout out to Uzo, the executive director, and to Councillor Baldwin Sands and Lisa Higgs for
Yeah.
what they've done on that physician recruitment team. And another meeting on Monday, so I know they're still out there working.
Those meetings just keep on coming.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. And then we've got some other stuff here.
You can do any of the coming events.
Yeah, we'll burn through them. I wanted to touch on as well because you were talking about you're in St. Thomas, and then you go other places and you meet people from St. Thomas. Like I was just doing the photos for London Economic Development Corporation for their
Yep.
Southwest Food Showcase, and there was
Yes.
such a large contingent of people from St. Thomas there as well, representing the amazing things they do in relation to that field, as well as
Yes.
the Small Business Enterprise Center team who were up there to chat with people as well. Elle from the Atrium was there as well,
Yep.
talking about her business, and yeah, it was great. It was just great.
Well, we do economic development well, right? Everybody always thought of economic development as just attracting the biggest smokestack you can find and getting it in your community. And I say that kind of facetiously. Grab a big factory and boy, you've done your work.
Yeah.
Our Economic Development Corporation and the EBRC, also here in town, do great work with small and medium-sized businesses. It is such a success if you can get someone to move out of their garage,
Hmm.
move out of their basement, and take a storefront and take that leap of faith of becoming a small business. And I got to give you a pile of credit on this. We keep pointing out brand new small businesses in town. Waffle croissants? How did I
Yeah,
know there was waffle croissants in town and never have one?
Joe,
Come
I
on.
had I had no idea they even existed till I went into Zesties, and then they were like, "Oh,
Right.
this is the newest thing that we're doing," and I was like,
Well,
"Wait,
they've
what?"
given me some great things over time, and
Yeah.
they do make, but I got to stop in now, and there's just Buzz Bites is another one. Look
Oh,
at
so
some of
good.
the great stuff they're doing in our downtown is
Yeah.
just phenomenal, right?
Yeah. No, and it's so great to go in as a part of the DDB to chat with those folks too and get a deeper understanding of like how they came to downtown St. Thomas and like what they're providing and being able to share that with people because even though
Yeah,
they've been here for almost 3 years, there were still a number of people who were saying, "Hey, I had no idea they were even there."
yeah.
Which is, as you and I know as business owners, it's what
It's
happens.
you assume word of mouth is one person tells seven, and those seven all tell seven, and that's kind of organic growth.
Yeah.
And that does happen, but it's usually over years of time of
Yeah.
doing it, right? I continue to say to people, 36 years later, I'm an overnight success
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
because the 53 things we tried
Oh.
10 years ago are paying dividends,
Mhm.
and all businesses need to think of it that way and look at it. Your business can be so much more successful when you're outside of your business and people get to know you as a person also, driving the economy, driving social issues in our community, and that type of community work businesses are always involved in, but don't always get the credit for either. So quite
No.
important.
And it's so important when they open up that we get out there and we shout out about it. So they have
Yep.
that initial name recognition, that initial
Yep.
drive, the excitement for people to check it out. I remember Jade Lemonade Thrift was another one that I popped in and
Yep.
checked out with Haley there, and it was incredible. Great prices, wonderful clothing finds that she's making and sharing with
Yep.
the community there. And if you don't know, you don't know. But as a downtown business, you need to have that continual customer base.
Well, and you're right, and which is part of the reason we maybe work really hard because I
Yeah,
remember a couple rainy days moving picnic tables and stuff for downtown
yeah,
events. But where the downtown merchants get together and decide you didn't notice it and you were downtown, and
hmm,
now you've been downtown four times and you
yeah.
still haven't found this hidden treasure. So we want to keep shouting it, but you're doing a super job on social media shouting it for them because sometimes they're busy making waffle croissants
Well,
instead
that's
of
just
being
it.
on social media, right?
Yeah,
And so
it's
it's quite important that we really do a great job of carrying on talking. And for all of you watching today, when you see something from the downtown or from the EDC or where they're highlighting a business or the EBRC,
mhm,
or they're highlighting a business, like it and share it.
yeah,
Share it is really important. When we do that, and you and I talk about the algorithm switches that
Yep.
happen when enough people get onto a topic, and then it's all of a sudden out there for everybody. And they say, "How did I not know about this?" Well, you do
Exactly.
now. Yeah,
And so get out there and support it. Speaking of
yeah.
support, if you want to support me, I've got a paint night and a downtown business. Base notes. Paint night
Base notes.
this week at 8. It's from 8 to 10, and we're gonna be painting teapots. And it's a
I was going to
tie-in.
say, you're
Yeah.
going to one of the classiest bars in town, the
Mhm.
classiest mixology place in town, and
Yes.
you got people painting teapots.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
it's a tie-in to Bridgerton. It's a tie-in to
I
Bridgerton.
love it. I love the
Yeah.
thought.
So,
Right?
and the hot tea, and it's like caution hot tea is the gossip side that started Bridgerton up. So that was
Yes.
my tie-in. Anyway,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Going to be a lot of fun,
Um,
and your paint nights are are a lot of fun.
they're an
I've yet
adventure.
to try because I have no artistic ability except for purchasing paintings. But no,
Oh, there's none needed. There's no talent needed.
yeah.
Just come out and have a great time. And that's what I think too, is I'll do the stencils for the caution hot tea. And then it's actually might even be more interesting if the teapot is a completely unique piece of artwork to go
Well,
with that stencil.
who couldn't put a picture that they drew, that they
Yeah,
painted of a classic teapot in their kitchen or dining room in their own home? Of
right.
course they could, right? And so get out there and go to have you got a funny name for this one, Graydon? It's
No, I don't. No, there's no funny name for this one. Yeah,
so tea painting teapots. I'm gonna by the end of the show, I'll have a
you'll have a good
slogan
one for
for
me.
you. Yeah, I
Love it.
will.
All right, we can jump into some of the events here because we're
Great.
running up on time. So we got, and also shout out to Jen from your office who helps put all this stuff together.
Oh, she is the best. I'm away all week. Graydon gets this stuff today, and we go, well, look, we have all the events we need. They're all written here. They're in order because we
Yep.
asked for that once, I don't know, 3 months ago. And she even does the back page of the event page with,
Mhm.
okay, you already said this, but if you got time, make sure you cover these too. Right?
So
So,
good.
yeah.
So we got the Holy Guacamole Spanish Club, May 30th at 11 a.m. Taco House. Enjoy Spanish lessons, games, chips, and guac, and learn about Latin culture. We got the Lavender Farm Garden Tour, June
Oh,
10th, 11 to 30 to 12 p.m. At the Sparta Lavender Farm. Enjoy a relaxing walk and learn all about the farm. The Moo Tour, June 11th, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Misty Glen Creamery. Meet Jibber Jabber, which is one
well,
of
the
their
Moo
famous
Tour.
cows. The Moo Tour, yeah.
Oh, I thought you said the moon. I didn't know we could get for the tour yet. No, the Moo
Yeah,
Tour.
and
I
it's made
liked
of
it.
cheese curds.
Oh, there's no
Uh,
better cheese curds in the world than what
no.
they make it there. So yeah.
Oh, and the Misty Glen milk and cheese curds are available at Burke's Produce Market, which is
Yes, which
over.
I saw you specialize
I
this week. I
sure
believe I
did.
shared it. No.
You sure did. Yep. So, and you can return your milk bottles there too for Misty Glen, which is great. So
Excellent.
if you're south of Talbot, that's a great location to hit up. They say see Facebook for more details at Misty Glen Creamery.
Great.
And they've also got the Big Daddy Dairy Day, which is June 14th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And it's in support of the fourth annual open house in support of Ronald McDonald House. And there's free admission.
Excellent.
They're taking donations. And
Yeah.
I've yet to make it to one of those, but I'm hoping maybe this year I will, because it's one of those epic things you see pictures of, and then you have the FOMO.
Right.
Then we've got the Elmer Community Festival coming up on June 20th, and that's
Yes.
10 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Balmoral Park. There's local vendors, Touch a Truck, which is, I believe, the fire truck, Kids Zone, live music, and more. And then
What a
there's
community
oh,
event. And how does that community come together? I'll tell you, they do things in Elmer just about like small towns should, and they do a pretty
mhm,
good job of it.
absolutely. And the Summer Fun Passport, presented by the St. Thomas Chamber, May to September 7th, which has local deals and fun. And then Julian, thanks for the shout out, Julian. He says, don't forget to mention the St. Anne's Fair, which is coming up fast, June 3rd
Yes.
and to June
Yes.
6th.
So next week, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Wow.
And then the Walk for Alzheimer's, May 31st in Pinafore Park, 10
Yeah.
a.m. Visit their website for more information. Jordan's Run the Runway, which is June 5th, 4:30 p.m. St. Thomas
Yes,
Municipal
I'll
Airport.
be there. I'll be there. I may not run the runway, but I went last year. It was such a fun event
Mhm.
that I promised the YMCA I would be there again this year to help cheer everyone on, to help with a lot of the fun that can happen. And it's just even adults. This is a lot like as an adult, I still love a fire truck, right?
Yeah.
But as an adult, whoever got to run on a runway before, whoever got to walk around the business side of an airport. So
Right.
come on out on June 5th and help support the YMCA with the Run for Jordan at our own airport.
And we've got the carrots.
By the way, there's no hills, so
No hills.
it's an easier run.
As you run.
Yeah.
Not going uphill both ways like you did as a kid, eh?
Oh yes.
Karis Belongathon, June 6th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., Pinafore
Yep.
Park. More details on the website, belongathon.ca/London. The Flourish Gala, June 6th, 6 p.m., Queso, and it's in support of Our Place Respite. Tickets are available and there's sponsorship opportunities.
Yep.
Hike for Hospice is June 6th, Waterworks Park. For more information, reach out to Charlotte at Barrie Family Hospice of Elgin. And we're just getting to end here, but I wanted to mention as well, I got a chance to chat with the premier yesterday when I was up at Queen's Park. And he had the nicest things to say about St. Thomas and Elmer when we were up there. And it was just fantastic. So we're on the map there too.
It's been a long time since we had a premier who knew where Elmer and St. Thomas were.
Right?
I think in the past. But yes, we've let Premier Ford come to St. Thomas and make a few announcements, and he's fairly pleased with us at the moment.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool to be up there at the Home Builders and get a chance to chat with him, with them, and then get some photos, which people are asking for. So I've got to get those photos edited. So I got to run because they want their photos with the premier to get out to everybody.
All right. Well, I've got plenty of things to do here too. I've been, preparing this house, cleaning out the garage, doing all sorts of stuff, and it finally got to be very nice weather to be outside. The lake is about 1 kilometer that way, and I haven't been there yet. Not even to go for a walk down.
Not even for a walk?
No, I'm back in St. Thomas tomorrow.
Okay.
And there for the weekend. I've got a number of events I've got to do over the weekend. And I hope to get back here as the weather continues to warm and actually get to take a little walk in the lake soon.
Oh, that's so nice. Now, yeah, it's so nice when you can switch over to sandals from shoes. That's like that's when I just determined that actually summer is coming.
Yeah.
In my case, it's Crocs now, which I never thought I'd wear.
Well,
but
socks became optional on March 15th, and it's been an awful cold spring to be without socks. But
yeah, just freezing. Well, Mayor Joe, thanks again for your time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for letting us get together when we're miles apart.
Likewise.
It's great for our city, for us to be able to offer the transparency on how your city's running. Grayden really helps us with that. And in the meantime, we aid a few businesses and getting to talk about them too.
To get the word out. And that's all we can do is support each other and keep moving forward. So thanks again. And then are you available next Tuesday?
I am. I'm in St. Thomas for next Tuesday night. And so we should decide whether it's where it might be or what we might do in addition. So are you available next Tuesday night?
I'm almost 100% positive I am, but yes.
All right. Well, let's put our master brains together as to there's so much stuff going on. And as I said, it's Discovery Week. We've got a bunch of medical students in town. Perhaps that's another thing we could surely talk about. But there's just so much happening. So let's make sure we're doing it.
The Trades Barbecue is also that day. So I'll do that. And then we're doing Mayor's Update
the
after.
Barbecue also. So yes.
For the St. Thomas Elgin Home Builders Association.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll see you there, if not before.
Thank you. Say hi to the whole family at your end, and I'll give Stephanie a hug for you too, and 4 dogs. All right.
All right.
Talk
Take
to
care.
You.
Yeah.
Right.
Bye.